What is up, guys? I appreciate y'all tuning in here, clicking on the video. This is our first ever episode on the Burton Breaks podcast. You got me, I'm Nick. You can call me Bert. We got the boy Ferret over there. We're gonna be talking about everything ranging from sports cards. The hobby. We got some blind rankings going on. We're gonna be talking about pretty much anything you can think of. There's no limits to what we're gonna be chatting about. It's not just gonna be focused on sports cards. We're gonna be having a good time. I hope you guys enjoy. What do you got to say to the people for an opening monologue?
This has been a month in the making or so. We've waited a long time for everything to come.
Yeah, we
It's
did.
finally here, set it up. I think it looks great.
You got the Gibbs signed football, man. You guys know, hey, Gibby's just went crazy against the Ravens. This is pretty much the room that we stream in. We just kind of shifted things around, and now we got a little podcast set up here in the corner. It kind of worked out perfect, but yeah, guys, excited to share this with you. Hopefully you guys like the pods. Hopefully you listen to them, and hopefully it's a nice start to your Thursday mornings. We're going to be posting these every Thursday at 10 a.m. So at least during the NFL season, we can kind of talk about the week prior. We're recording this on a Tuesday, so right after the Monday night football game. Give a look into the next week of football games, talk about the releases, what's upcoming in the hobby, and kind of just a good point in the week to get some content out to you guys.
All right, to start off the podcast, what we were thinking about doing is doing an origin story of Burton Breaks. Nicholas Burton.
No, the government is crazy. But nah, I mean, everyone always asks on stream, dude, how did you get started? How do I become a breaker? How this, how that? You know, what did you start with? All this kind of stuff. So let's just knock it out. First episode, give the people a place to go when they're asking these questions. And you know, maybe if you're interested in kind of going on a similar journey here, maybe you can take some stuff with it. I'll try and give some helpful hints here. And you know, this is just gonna be the opening part of the podcast. We got a lot more coming. So if you don't care about this, feel free to skip ahead. But I know a lot of people be asking about this stuff. So let's get into it.
First question everybody's asking: what got Nick into
I don't know if anyone's ever asked that one, but no, people have. I would say honestly, I've just kind of always been into cards. I remember it used to be. I mean, hey, we're gonna get into this later, but you guys know Topps has taken over the license. Back when I was growing up, Topps had the license, so they were making the football cards. I wasn't really much into collecting basketball then, so I don't know if they had the basketball license. I actually kind of feel like I remember ripping NBA hoops, maybe. I might be making that up, but I definitely remember ripping Topps football 2010 or whatever. Whenever I think it was Adrian Peterson was on the cover of it. There was always those fat packs, and they weren't just the regular fat packs you guys see now. It was like a double hanger pack basically. So it's like one pack here, one pack below it, but they were together. I mean, you're really just looking for the base cards when you're a kid. You don't really care much about anything else, but honestly, that's what just kind of got me into it. You know, going to Target and picking up a $5 pack, or maybe they were $3 back then. I don't really remember. And you're going through, and I couldn't care less if we pull the best rookie, man. I wanted to pull that base Peyton Manning card. I wanted to pull that base Tom Brady card, and I mean that's kind of just the stuff that got me into it. And then really, what got me back into it, I kind of fell out of love with the hobby in high school. I mean, just so many things going on, you know, sports and all that. So kind of took a break from it, but then back my freshman year of college and right before that, the summer going into it was when the pandemic kind of happened, and really the hobby was blowing up in all facets. But just like a lot of people out there, I kind of started going through my collection that was just sitting there. And you know, you hear about all these people finding that rare Pokemon card that was sitting in their basement, and I started going through my stuff. I did end up finding a couple cool cards, and then I ended up, you know, scouring some Walmarts and some Targets to find some boxes that I could rip, and that's really what got me back into it.
And then were you always just like buying cards, like singles, or was it just kind of like just ripping?
Nah, dude, really, I wasn't buying any singles. I mean, other than for like the PC, I've always been a huge James Harden fan. So I remember during that pandemic when I was really getting back into the hobby, I was going for so many different James Harden sets. I didn't have really the money to collect anything too crazy, so I was on eBay just, you know, sniping cool James Harden cards for $1 plus whatever the shipping was, just trying to find the coolest, cheapest cards that I could. I was going for. I remember one thing I was really trying to do was they have these spellbound sets in Donruss Elite Basketball where it spells out their name. So I was trying to find the HARDEN of that, so I could kind of like set it up as a little display in my room. I never got it. I never got it completed because back then, dude, during the pandemic, people don't understand how crazy prices were for one of those inserts that might be 25 cents to $1 now of James Harden. It was like 10 to 20 bucks per, and I mean, I'm gonna be honest, I did not have that bread at that time, so I was saving up trying to find the snipes on them, but never got that set done. But I do vividly remember going after that hardened set.
So, what point was it kind of a turning point of I'm just collecting cards to like I want to stream and I want to do breaks on TikTok or like whatnot and whatnot?
Yeah, honestly, I mean, I was out at this point. I was pretty deep into like reselling boxes and stuff. You know, you can call me a scalper or whatever it might be, but I was. I mean, that's how I was paying for my college at the time. Was I was going to the WalMarts and the Targets, and if there was stuff on the shelf, I would buy those boxes and I would sell them on eBay. Or there was a card shop that I used to always sell them to, and call me what you want. I was a scalper, I was whatever, but I mean, I was a college kid and I was trying to make some money, and that's how we did it. But at one point, I'm like, why am I sitting here? I'm scrolling through TikTok and I see these people that are, people that I'm selling these boxes to sell them for more than I'm selling them to. I'm selling these boxes to the people that are selling them for more. So why don't I just cut out the middleman and sell them on TikTok myself? So at the time, it was my freshman year of college on spring break. I'm like, you know what? I'm gonna just create an account. I go into my bedroom. I find a logo. I create the name. It was almost Blackout Breaks. I want people to know that I almost started Blackout Breaks instead of Burton Breaks, but I decided for the longevity of it that maybe Blackout Breaks wasn't going to be the best long term brand name, just because the alcohol side of it. Who knows if kids are really going to be wanting to look up to Blackout Breaks, but I was a college kid at the time and I thought it was funny. But I ended up going with Burton Breaks, and then you had to have 1,000 followers on TikTok to even stream. At this point, it was all kind of just like it was kind of just a thought in my brain. I didn't know if it was going to be successful. I was really determined to get to 1,000 followers. I started an Instagram with that name. I started a YouTube with that name. I got all the accounts made just in case something did happen and it was successful. And I just was posting the cringiest content on TikTok trying to get to 1,000 followers. I was using like sounds like "show off this one card" or whatever, and I would show off like a $20 Zion Williamson or something just silly, and
Yeah, because
just
you can't post any of the clips from streaming
yeah,
or like
yeah.
individual
That's
streams.
yeah, that's what we do now. But back then, I mean, it was different. I was. If you go back, I mean, I didn't delete any of my videos. You can go back on my TikTok. You can go back on the Instagram. I've never deleted anything. You can go and kind of see where everything started for yourself. I mean, it's crazy, dude. Looking at some of those videos, but it's like me walking into Walmart and like showing off the restock shelf, showing off, this is what just hit shelves at Walmart. This is all this. This is all that. And now we're just posting clips of pulling $10,000 cards. So it's crazy to think about, but I mean that's where everything's taken it, and yeah, it blows my mind still, honestly.
Yeah. And so you started streaming, you got 1,000 followers. How long did that take you?
I think we got it done by the end of that spring break, so less than a week. Which I mean, it'll take longer than that, but I'm telling you, I was posting the cringiest content. I was going through and I would go to the biggest accounts that were breaking, and I would go to the people that are following them, and I would just follow every single account, hoping that some of those people would follow me back. Like I was on the grind where I was gonna make this happen. I had nothing else going on spring break, so I mean, and during this time, while I was going to 1,000 followers, I was in a Discord that was centered around the hobby, and I ended up running my first ever break before I could even get on TikTok. I ended up doing my first break on Instagram Live, and how I filled this break was I posted it to this Discord and was like, "Yo guys, I'm trying to get my first ever break happening. It's one mega box of Mosaic NBA 2020. Pick your division for $10. So it's a total break of $60. The box itself was $60. I offered everyone free shipping. I lost money doing my first ever break. But I mean, I built a clientele that, like, it sounds stupid, but it's a clientele of 6 people. But they jumped into the next break that I did, and then the next couple breaks that I did, because they're like, dude, who's breaking cards at a loss? Like, you're telling me I can go and buy a division and I'm paying less than what he's paying? Like, that's insane. But that's what I had to do to kind of start it off. And I mean, when you're losing $10, $20 on a break, it is what it is. But that's how you build a community, and it really did help. Get those first couple breaks off, and then when I did eventually get to that first 1,000 followers on TikTok, I wasn't going in naked. I had a couple guys that would at least come into my room and have my back. At least that's how I was going to view it. But that first ever stream, or here's the story. I remember I hit 1,000 followers, and I was like, dude, like I gotta go live and see what this is like. I just like set my phone up on. I didn't even have a phone stand yet, so I'm like squishing it between two books so it stays vertical. I have I'm on a my bar counter in my parents' basement during spring break. I put a couple boxes in front of me. I have nothing set up. I don't have a website. I don't have anything like that. And I just remember like 60 people join the live. I'm like, there's 60 people in here right now. I have no idea what I'm doing or anything. And I just have box out in front of me. I'm like kind of like chit chatting with people. I don't know what's going on. And some guys like how much for this? How much for that blaster box? I'm like, I don't know, like $40. And he's like, cool. Where do I send? I was like what? Like you're just gonna buy this right now? Like I don't have to do a break or anything. You're gonna pay. I mean, I think I probably paid $30 for the box. He was gonna pay $40. All right, if I can make $5, and at that time I was like, I just want to rip this box. I don't even care if I make any money off of it. I just want to open this box, and I couldn't really afford to do it on my own. I was still in college, and it was just the best thing in the world at the time. But I just remember that first stream. It was like I was like 30 minutes long because I had to go do something at 5. I went live at like 4:30, and I was like, it was going so well. I was like, sorry guys, like I gotta end this. I have to go to dinner with my parents. I was like, I don't know what's going on.
Was that kind of like the what shoved you into doing a lot of personal boxes as well? Because you
I didn't do breaks for like the first 2 years that I was streaming. I didn't do a single break.
not a single break.
I mean, I did those first couple breaks where there was the divisionals, but from there on, as soon as someone bought like a blaster box for $40, I mean, pretty quickly on, I became like, because I told you guys that I was, going to those Walmarts and Targets and getting those retail boxes. I was like the retail guy on TikTok for a minute there, where I had the most blasters, the most megas, all this stuff because I had, been doing that, securing those boxes, getting those Target drops, getting the Walmart drops, and I would just come to the table with like 100 Prism mega boxes whenever they dropped, and people were like going crazy for them. It was pretty wild. But yeah, I didn't even start doing breaks until a couple years in when I really started taking it seriously. But
Yeah, because you don't see a lot of other people with. I mean, I've seen it firsthand with the amount of product that you have.
right,
Like, there's a lot of product in this shop, and there's a lot of product on the TikTok shop. And what you don't realize, like, people don't like they're just here for breaks and other
yeah.
shops. So I think that's pretty cool. I enjoyed before I started working for you. I was buying from your stream just a little
Yes, he
bit for
was. Yes,
fun.
he was. Yeah, the personals aspect of it is definitely interesting. I'm glad we kind of built a brand off of personals, and now I mean I would say it's 50-50. Half the stuff we do is breaks, half the stuff we do is personals. But it really, during our streams, it gives a good opportunity of we're not just sitting here waiting for the next break to fill. We're always ripping something. I don't want people to just sit there and be like, all right, guys, someone take down the Rams now, so let's do it. And then like we're just one step closer to the break. It's like we got to be doing something, entertaining the people, putting on a little show even while we're waiting for that big break to fill, whether it's we're ripping the flavor burst or we're ripping, Litz is coming in and ripping a bunch of wax, we got to put on a little show for the people while we're filling those breaks.
Yeah. At what point was it not like a little hobby side gig that you were doing? And was it like I could make this into like a bigger business. I could do something bigger with this.
I mean, even that first summer, like I told you guys that I started the account my freshman year of college during spring break. I was doing it in the dorm room after spring break. I was just in my dorm room and I had a little setup in there and I was just doing it from my dorm, literally like on a table. It was the worst dorm room you've ever seen, dude. There was so many boxes, so much shipping materials. It was not great. It was not ideal, but I was doing it in there, and then over the summer, I didn't have any class. I didn't have anything I really focused on it that summer. Live streaming every single day, shipping every single day, and you know, it went really well. It was amazing, and I went back to school the next year, and I was sitting there, and I'm like, it's my sophomore year. I'm going to these classes. I'm like, this is so pointless. I don't want to be doing anything other than putting time and energy into breaking. And then, through my sophomore year, it kind of there were some rough patches where the stream wasn't going well, and I was like, maybe this isn't the thing that we're gonna be doing. And I mean, I was like, I'm glad I stayed in school. And there were streams where I have like 5 to 10 viewers, and we're not, there was a night where I stayed on stream for like an hour and didn't sell one thing, and I was like, oh boy, like maybe people were right, like this is just a quick fad and it's over, like it is what it is. But I stayed the course, I kept doing it. And then I remember around the same time, spring break of my sophomore year of college, they introduced the TikTok shop. And honestly, bro, the TikTok shop is when stuff got crazy. Like the algorithm was different. For some reason, they were really trying to boost the TikTok shop. I was one of the first people that actually signed up for the TikTok shop. It was like a beta program at the time. And I'm telling you, my viewers went from like having 100 people in there to all of a sudden there's 1,000 people in the room just because I was the only person with TikTok shop at the time. There's a couple others, but like it was nuts. They were trying so hard to get the TikTok shop out there and it was just starting that like they're like, you know what, we're gonna put all viewers into here and we're taking away anyone who's doing Venmo, website, whatever they're doing. They're all getting put into a room that has a TikTok shop. So it got crazy. It was at that point where it was like I don't have the capital to keep these boxes in stock. Like with how the TikTok shop was going, I would sell out all the boxes I had every night. There was nights where I couldn't stream because I didn't have enough product. Like it was really crazy once the TikTok shop came around, and then that kind of carried through my sophomore summer. I wanted to drop out. My parents pretty much said that if you hit this certain target in sales, then I'd be okay with you dropping out. At the end of the day, I think I was gonna do it no matter what happened. But we ended up the number that they told me was they would be okay with me dropping out. We smashed that. I think we did like 4 times that number. So it was at that point where I was like, yeah, I'm not going back to school. And then I didn't go back to school.
Did it feel good to just like go to your parents and be like, here's the proof, here's the number?
Yeah, I mean, obviously it was a good feeling. I'm not gonna say like I proved them wrong because obviously they wanted me to succeed, but my mom has been a teacher her whole life, so education's always been super important to her. I think that I'm pretty much the only one that didn't go to college for 4 years out of my parents, my siblings, all that stuff. So it was just kind of a shock to them, but when something's going well, I mean, my point was like it's not that I can't do college or don't want to do college. I was always a great student. It's like if I'm putting my time into college, I'm not putting my time into this. And I know that if I put my time into this, it can be something better than anything a degree is going to get me.
Yeah. And we're sitting in a room in the shop, in the back rooms. What was the process of being like, was it kind of like I've wanted to do this the entire time I've been a card collector? I wanted to get a shop.
I mean, so in the story we're at where we just finished I just dropped out of college and it's going into my junior year or what would be my junior year. So at that point, we went back to college, or me and Reagan went back to college. That's my girlfriend. She was still going to school. So I'm basically not going to school. I'm still staying in the college apartments with her. I'm just breaking out of the college apartments. Things were continuing to increase because I was, putting all my time into it. And at this point, our college apartment looks like a fucking warehouse. It was crazy. I don't even know if I can swear. You might have
Yeah,
to
we
bleep
no, we
that
can
out.
we'll swear, we'll swear.
No, I don't think you can. Anyway, boys, the the college apartment looked like a warehouse, dude. I'm telling you, we had cases loaded up in our kitchen. We had rented out a 3-bedroom apartment in the ideology that one of those bedrooms would be for the breaking and whatnot. And it ended up to a point where we were staying in one bedroom, 2 bedrooms were for breaking and shipping. Our entire downstairs was just filled with shipping supplies, boxes, cases, top loaders. It was to the point where we were living in an office, and it was not ideal. So about halfway through the year, I decided we should get an office. So we ended up leasing an office for 3 years. We move in there. Everything feels great. Super pumped to not be living where I'm breaking. And less than a year after getting that office, we filled up that office, and we're like, I've got like, I don't even know. I think it was like 6 or 7 employees at the time, and we could not fit in that office anymore. It was like it was almost like the size of the room that we're in now times 2, which I mean it's not huge. So we had to make a change, and I decided we went around looking for different offices to move into, not even thinking about starting a shop. And we walked into the place that we're currently at. It was like the third place that we were looking at, and I was like, it used to be a doctor's office. I just walk in and I'm like, you see all these little rooms that used to be doctor's office. I'm like, those are perfect for different breaking rooms. And then you have like the main lobby area that was the doctor's office, and I'm like, this doesn't really work as a breaking room. I'm just sitting there. I'm like, this could be a card shop. Like if the front area, we have no use for it. It's big. It was a lobby. We take down one wall here, and we could have a card shop out here and have all the breaking in the back. It ended up working out perfectly. It wasn't even a thought process until I walked in here. I'm like, this is the only building that really works, and we're just gonna have a bunch of wasted space. Why don't we start a card shop? It's not something that like I dreamed of doing, but I mean, it's honestly been one of the most fulfilling things that I've done since really starting my own business.
Yeah. What is it like difficult to manage both TikTok, whatnot, and the shop all at once, or is there just a lot of help that goes behind getting
Yeah, I
all
mean,
that
I would
stuff
say
done?
I would say there's a ton of help. I mean, I'm not gonna sit here and say that it's easy. There's definitely stressful moments, but I think that the key to kind of managing that is to just hire people that you trust and that you know are gonna do a good job. It's so much easier. I really did have a problem with that in my young business days. I would still say I'm in my young business days, but like my really young business days was trusting other people to do a job. Like I felt like I always had to have my hand in the pot, and now really being able to trust people and have their opinions, trust them to put on a good product and put on a good show, whether it's one of the TikTok streams or take good care of the shop. Just finding the right people is what's going to help you, because you can't do everything yourself. There's no way. We have like 5 streams that go on a day. We have the shop that goes on. There's so much stuff that goes on behind the scenes that people don't see. Our PSA grading, the amount of cards we buy, all this different stuff that there's no way that I could do that on my own. And having a crew of people that from the start. I mean, my family's been a huge part of this. Pretty much my entire family is joined the team. Besides my brother, he's out playing college basketball at Western. Shout out, Max Burton. He's gonna put up a big season. But we've got the whole family. We've got some great people like Fair. We got a lot of behind the scenes people that maybe don't want to get the shout outs, but we got a good streaming team. Smalls, T, J. I mean, Reagan rips on the Pokemon. We just got a team of people that are gonna get it done, and I think that's the most important thing.
Yeah. So going from, card shop, going to small card shows, I'm sure you go to a
Oh
lot.
yeah,
Then
oh yeah,
going
love card
straight
shows.
to the national.
Yeah,
First national, have you been to 3 or 4?
three,
3? Your
three
first
nationals.
national, you had you told me you had like a one like whatever
Yeah,
box or whatever,
one table.
one table. What was the first national for you like?
Dude, the first national was nuts. It was after the sophomore year. It was the summer after sophomore year. So I was still like living in my parents' house at this point, basically, because it was the summer we moved back. I was at my parents' house. We go out to the national with just like some bins of products. And it was at the time where the TikTok shop algorithm was still going crazy. During the national, we had like 3 to 4 thousand viewers at all times. It was ridiculous. Like we had a queue of over 2 hours long, and we're just sitting there like people are coming up to us like, bro, I'm watching you right now on TikTok. Like it was something I'd never experienced before. Like now we've done the national a couple times. It's been there, but having that first person come up and ask for a picture with me, that was such a weird experience. Obviously very cool, but like just meeting you can see these numbers on a screen, but you never meet any of these people. You see
Yeah.
their usernames, you see their profile pictures, you get an idea of it, but like having people come up to you and like be like, dude, I watch your stream every night, like that. It's a really fulfilling moment, and getting to meet those people is really cool. I've made some great friends throughout this hobby. Like
Yeah.
Litzroll's one of our biggest our customers, and he's like one of my best friends in real life now. Like we hang out 5 to 6 times a year. Like that was a good 6-7 opportunity. But it's actually it's crazy. I've met a lot of people that I actually consider friends, which you think that like you're just like talking to these people and hanging out with them because they're customers or whatever, but there's legitimately people that I enjoy hanging out with, whether they spent another dollar with us or not, just because they're good people.
Yeah. So I texted you when you were building your shop, was like, hey, if you need any help. You
Yeah,
instantly offered me the job as co-pilot, and I needed money, so I was like,
yeah.
sure, yeah, why not? Got the job. What I didn't realize, so my first national was this year. I went to
Right.
my first national with you. What I don't realize is I sit next to Nick 6 times a week. Like he's just a normal dude to me. I go to the national. I saw you take probably 100 pictures, sign autographs. I'm like, what is going on? Like it was just like super.
People ask you for pictures too.
I got a couple pictures. It was surreal to me to see like this guy is like actually like I don't want to say like famous,
I
but you
wouldn't say
are
that.
in the card world. I would say
In the card, I would
you're-
say I'm known, but I
you're
wouldn't say I'm
known.
famous.
And it's weird to be next to someone that's like known and just be, like buddies with them. Like he's just my boss. Like that's all it is.
I mean, people know who you are too now. Don't give yourself a little credit here.
I mean, yeah, just a few, but
Yeah, but I mean, like I said, you see all the numbers on the screen and it doesn't really translate until you go to a show like this. But let's make it very clear. I can go into public just fine. Nobody
Yeah.
ever recognizes me.
no.
I think I've had like one person come up to me in public. So it's unless I'm going to a card show or something, nobody knows who I am. So I don't
For now.
you never know.
You never know.
Once this podcast takes off, we're
Yeah.
gonna be
We're gonna be in good
we're
hands.
gonna need some security walking around.
Yeah. So, how long? Because a lot of people kind of just joining now,
Gotta stay hydrated, guys.
weren't into the weren't into the stream as of recently. How long did it take you to build your store, like in general? Like once you realize, like I could make this a store,
Like the physical shop?
like the physical shop.
I think I decided that we were gonna do it. I think we signed the papers in like January, and what did we open? April 19th. I'm telling you, we needed every single day, and we probably needed some more days. We did not give ourselves enough time to get the shop ready for grand opening, but we got it done. I mean, it was stressful. We had people putting in long hours, and thank you to everybody who helped with that. But it was absolutely way not enough time. I thought it was too much time, but you just don't account for all the things that are going to happen. Like you order all these display cases, and then this one has a messed up corner, and you have to order a new one, and you have to wait for that, and then you have to rebuild the entire display cases. And getting, we got the floors completely redone. We got all the walls painted black. We got, construction, literally like they're taking down walls, they're putting up walls so we can have the PSA drop-off center, the buyback station, all this different stuff. And then you're putting up slat walls so you can have your supplies on the wall. Just all the things that you don't think about, setting up a Shopify, getting all your products on there, sorting every single card. We have our dollar bins and our 25-cent bins that are sorted by team, by sport. That stuff just takes so much time. We had those dollar bins that they're sitting in. Those were individually handcrafted. I mean, it was a lot of work. I remember sitting there the night before grand opening, and we're printing off all of the labels to put in on the products with the prices and the names. And I mean, I think my sister started like 2 days prior, and it took us up until I think 1 a.m. and we were opening at 10 a.m. the next day until we were like, we finally got everything done. Like it was good to go. So like we did not have a second to spare. It was a long grind, but we got it done.
Yeah. So before stream or before the podcast started, we started recording. You told me, you're like, oh, Dalton Kincaid texted me on Instagram, and straight face wasn't surprised about it. To anybody else, that'd be like crazy.
Yeah, I mean the reason that I texted him first asking him what he hit out of the National Treasure box, but Dalton Kincaid has actually been on our stream before. He's bought a box with us. He's ripped with us. He actually just last week bought from our Whatnot as well. So he ripped a watermelon, I think one of the Flavor Burst Hero repacks. He bought a couple Nuke Show items, and he just posted on his story like he bought a National Treasures box. I was like, yo, did you hit anything good? And he was like, he sends me a picture, and it's a Saquon Barkley out of 5 Brazil patch, and I'm like, dude, that thing's fucking sweet. But it's actually so cool seeing someone like Dalton Kincaid, who's one of the best tight ends in the NFL, into the hobby, and able to text me back. Like that's awesome.
I bet you there's a lot more like NFL players, MLB, NBA players that are like card collectors that like we just don't know about.
All of them know about cards because they had to sign cards at some point in their life. There's not a rookie, sometimes they're not signing cards with Panini now, but they're at least signing with Topps. So when you're a rookie, every single person knows what a sports card is. They all know they have trading cards. They all know about that. I'm sure that there's tons of them that at least have a collection of maybe their own cards or some of their teammates. Maybe they're not as into it as we are because they are the athletes, but I think there is some of them that are just huge collectors, and they love the hobby. And I think that's something that, hopefully Fanatics and Topps is able to really touch on a little bit more is the athlete to consumer connection, which is, I think, something that they're working on. So I'm excited for that.
Do you think the change from the Panini having license to Topps having license is going to affect them like money wise or like anything like that?
Affect who money wise?
Like the players, like being able to have like paid per autograph or something like that.
I mean, maybe I don't think it'll affect. I'm not worried about the players' pockets. I'm sure they got.
That's fair.
I'm sure they got plenty of money, but just in terms of the collector, dude, going from going from Panini to Topps, as a business owner is going to be tough just because Panini is so much more accessible from the distribution aspect of things. Being able to get that product from our distributors, Topps and Fanatics right now are going from pretty much, if you're not getting it directly from Topps, which is impossible to do unless you are grandfathered in right now, apparently. It's tough. So we're gonna see what happens in that category as a business owner. From a hobby perspective, we talked at the start of this podcast about me growing up collecting Topps, Topps Chrome. I'm super excited to see Topps cards licensed again. I wish that Fanatics and Panini could kind of put aside this beef and, you know, in a perfect world, Fanatics owns Topps and Panini because Fanatics ended up buying out Topps like what 2 years ago. If Panini would have just gave in and sold the Fanatics, we'd have a world where Fanatics owns Panini and Topps. Fanatics is the company that holds the license. We now get Topps and Panini products licensed at the same time. Could you imagine that?
That'd be
Having licensed Topps Chrome and you're still chasing Flawless, Prism, Kabooms, Downtowns,
Yeah.
all licensed. That's a perfect world, but unfortunately, money talks, business is business, and those companies, maybe it's an ego thing, maybe it's a money thing. I have no idea honestly, but I think that there might still be unlicensed Panini cards coming out, which I can't sit here and tell you I'm too excited to be chasing unlicensed Panini cards. I'm sure the Downtowns and the Kabooms will still be sick. I mean, you see a Shohei Ohtani Kaboom, that thing's still going for more than some of the licensed NFL Kabooms. So
Yeah.
I think there's still gonna be a market for stuff like that. But as far as like, is anybody ripping? I mean, I don't know. Are Prism non-licensed cards going to be sought after? Because I mean, my immediate reaction is no. But then I literally remember someone bringing in a card to the shop like 2 days ago. It's a Topps Chrome Victor Wembanyama rookie, gold sapphire out of 50, and it's $1,000 card. That's an unlicensed Wemby out of 50,
Yeah.
and it's $1,000. So are you telling me that a black finite Prism Cooper flag, isn't going to be worth something?
Yeah.
Like,
And there's a lot of big players that sign with Topps. Like for me personally, big players, I'm saying Ron Holland. He does sign with Topps. And I'm excited to get
Go to this
a
guy.
licensed autograph from Ron Holland, seeing
Yeah,
with the
no.
jersey on his thing.
I mean, yeah. Look, there's no doubt that everyone's excited to finally see a licensed Jaden Daniels auto, a licensed Drake May auto. All this stuff is great, but it just comes down to you got two companies that are basically saying that they're doing this for the collectors, they're doing this for the hobby, and it's like, how can you say that and then you're creating a war that's only hurting the hobby and hurting the collectors?
Not allowing it to be both.
Yeah,
licensed.
If I'm the biggest Drake May collector in the world, you're telling me that I have to either pick and choose. I want his numbered Prism card licensed, or I want his autographed Topps Chrome card unlicensed. Like, I don't see how that you can. I don't know what's going on behind the scenes, but it does sting from a collector's standpoint of what's going on. I wish it was a little more fluid.
Yeah. Do you reckon the prices of, like, you were talking about the out of 50 Wemby, what about like older cards like a Kaboom or a Downtown from a few years ago? Is that going to go up in price, you think, or is it going to kind of just stay same?
The Kabooms and the Downtowns are so interesting to me just because of how many of them are being created now. You look at the population reports from PSA on, say a Downtown from 2020 versus a Downtown from 2024, and I think the print runs almost 5x or something crazy. So I think that the real market increase in the real price, the real opportunity and investment comes with those numbered Downtowns and Kabooms. So you find, or maybe it's the older Kabooms, when they weren't so, like, you get a 2013 Kaboom, I think that's going to be pretty good, but you can get maybe a gold Justin Herbert Kaboom or a gold vinyl Downtown. I think those ones will always carry a premium, similar to like what the PMGs. Those cards are numbered. You might not know what a PMG is, but
No.
those are some just collector's cards that there's scarcity there. So it, like, for me, I feel like the Kaboom and the Downtown hype kind of comes from a hype beastie thing. It feels like Supreme. It feels like Yeezy.
Yeah.
Like, I don't see that lasting. I don't, especially when they stop making licensed one and Topps takes over, and maybe the Helix becomes the new Chase. Then people kind of forget about these Downtowns. But I think there will always be something to say and some sort of market for those numbered and rare, case hits.
Yeah. I mean, we rip basically 100% Panini products, so it's hard to think about.
Hey, Topps, if you guys are listening, we would love to get that direct account going. especially with the license coming up. We'd love to be ripping your product in front of hundreds of thousands of people. So if you guys want to get working together, hit my line. But
Yeah. So with the Panini products, with the case hits and everything, so we're seeing all these, and we're seeing all the hype with these case hits. What do you think is licensed case hits from Topps going to go up, like way up, or is it just going to be like kind of whatever because everybody's already hyped
I
about
think
the
that's
Panini product hype?
Topps' number one downfall right now is they have not yet figured out how to do the case hit properly. They have a couple good ones, but just off the rip, I'm thinking about like a home field advantage. It's like, okay, we all know a home field advantage is they
Feels like a downtown.
Yeah, they tried to knock off a downtown in a sense, and it didn't work. Those things are $20. The best players are $100.
Yeah.
You look at downtowns, the cheapest downtown I can think of is Terry Bradshaw, and it's still $200. You go to the most expensive downtown you can think of, and what's a Jaden Daniels? Probably like $1,000. Some of the older Tom Brady's are thousands and thousands of dollars. You got the numbered ones. They haven't even. I don't think Topps has made numbered case hits yet, which is I think something they should definitely start doing. You get a Topps Chrome Home Field Advantage Superfractor of Shohei Ohtani. I bet you that one would fetch a premium. I mean, just a thought there, but I think that's something that Topps has really got to get figured out is how can we make those case hits desirable? Because that's one of the main things people are looking for. People love case hits. That is what the market is set on right now. And I'm not saying you can't have a world where, it's not case hit reliant, but if you're going to put case hits in the product, like they've done it, they have, I'm thinking about Topps Finest, they have the man. Like, you probably don't even know what that is. No one, who's chasing the man? Like, no disrespect to Topps. We hope to work with you guys someday, but it's just like, we have to figure out a way to make those case hits sought after. And I think the Helix is kind of a step in the right direction. But if you want me to be honest with you, Downtown, Kaboom, Color Blast, Manga, I don't think there's a single Topps case hits that's better than any of those.
No, not even close.
I think the Bowman anime was a step in the right direction out of Topps baseball.
that felt like
a manga though. It's like everything that's kind of heading in the right direction is like it's kind of a knockoff of Panini. Now, what can you do case hit wise that they haven't done? I don't know. I don't have the answer. I'm just saying, it's got to be something. I don't know what it is, but Panini's done a really good job of that, and I think if Topps can tap into to make some sought after case hits, I think my favorite right now is the Helix, but I don't love it. I think we can do better.
Looking at case hits from Panini, they're all pretty simple. Like Kaboom is literally just like a player with the word Kaboom behind him. Like it's not not that crazy. Or like a Color Blast is just a player with colors behind him. Like it's super simple. The Manga and the Downtown are the only ones that are like crazy. But
part of me wonders if are we only after these case hits because of the history of them, because we've been trained to like chase these cards. Kabooms have been around since what is it, 2012 Excalibur, 2014 Excalibur? I can't remember the first year Kabooms, but it's been around for over a decade. Like, is that why we're in on Kabooms? Are we in on Downtowns because they've been around for a while, albeit less than the Kabooms? I don't know. I don't know if it just takes time to get used to these Topps case hits, but they haven't done anything that's like catches my eye and I'm like, I need one of those in my favorite player.
Yeah, if the Helix in 10 years, it's a long time away, but we'll see in 10 years if it's.
Topps has the license for a while. They take over the basketball license in October. They take over the football license in April. I think they have it. It's like it's over a decade. I think I want to say it might even be like 20 years.
I heard 20 years, yeah.
So it's like we're in it for the long haul now. So hopefully we can get some good case hits on the roster.
Yeah. Do you reckon at some point
You
Panini?
love that word, reckon.
I do love the reckon word. I would love it. That Panini will sell the Topps in the next 20 years, or do you think they're just gonna stick with it and be a little bit stubborn?
I think they're stubborn, dude. I think they would have done it already. I don't know if they're gonna get a better offer than what they had previously. I don't know any of the details of it. This is all just speculation, but I think that maybe if things go well for them and they can still sell these unlicensed products, they don't really have any reason to sell. Maybe they'll try and do some play to get the license back in 20 years. These companies are thinking in long term. 20 years in company sense isn't necessarily the biggest deal in the world, but I don't know. I don't know. I don't know what'll happen. I hope that sometime down the line we can see. My wish has always been, why do we have to have an exclusive license to one trading card company? Why can't we just have a price that, you can buy the license for. I mean, I don't understand how the business side of it works. I mean, I'm not in those meetings or anything, but it would be great to see if Panini could hold a license. Let Leaf have a license. If they're willing to pay for a license, let them have the license. Let them make licensed cards. If people like them, they like them. If not, they don't. Let Topps have the license. Let, any company you can think of, if they can afford to buy the license, let them make the license. I don't know what the price would be for that, but it shouldn't be like, oh, we have a contract with them, it's exclusive. No one else can ever make an unlicensed card or make a licensed card for 20 years.
Yeah, you think if Leaf got the license that their cards would be more than $5 a piece?
Nah, those things are garbage, bro.
I mean, when you got 8 101s of like
yeah,
the same
I
player.
think that. I mean, look, they have some cool autos and stuff, but dude, when I'm looking at a dinosaur on a trading card of Dynamite or whatever, I'm like, come on, bro. Like this is an insult to the hobby. They have 12 different one-of-ones of each player from each set. I mean, don't get me wrong, Panini sometimes has 12 different one-of-ones from a set like I don't know, Donruss. Maybe there's different inserts and all that stuff, but it's like Leaf does it to a different extreme. It's not my cup of tea.
Yeah, no, neither for me. NFL week just ended this week. Week 3,
Let's
done
get
with the
into
NFL
it.
season.
How about them
Lions.
Lions?
How about them Lions, baby? 38-30 over the Ravens.
Really 38-24. We'll let them have the
We'll let
garbage time.
time.
It was a convincing win, I would say. I mean, you guys know us here. We're in Michigan. We're Lions fans. You got the Lions cap on. We got the Lions football right here. We got to start off talking about the Lions. We'll get into some of the other teams here, but I mean, I was honestly really impressed by the defensive performance, dude. That D line stepped up. Shout out to El Kadin Muhammad.
And yeah, Calvin Shepard.
Shepard, dude.
Shepard's cooking right now.
I've been saying it for so long. I think Aaron Glenn is the most overrated coordinator of the last 10 years. I love him as a person. I think he's a good leader of men. He might even be a decent head coach, maybe a better head coach than he was a defensive coordinator, but he has been our downfall. Why do you think we lost in the playoffs last year, bro? We have never stopped a mobile quarterback once with Aaron Glenn as our defensive coordinator. He does great against pocket passers. Like I remember last year, that game against the Vikings to end the season, the battle for the 1 seed, he locked up Sam Darnold, had a great game calling defensive schemes and plays right there. And then we get to the playoffs and Jaden Daniels, who can move a little bit. Okay, we lost this game. Yeah. Lamar Jackson, the year prior, we were 5-1 at the time. We're playing the Ravens. They put up 38 on us.
We put up 6. I mean, that was
just a bad game.
That was a bad game overall.
But Aaron Glenn has never once called a game that I can remember off the top of my head where I was like, you know what? He contained a mobile quarterback. And the goal is not to completely stop Lamar Jackson. It's not going to happen. But Kelvin Shepard, he got the job done.
I mean, 7 sacks?
7 sacks. Now, credit to the D-line. The players are the ones out there on the field. I'm not giving all the credit to Shepard, but that man, I'm glad we got him over Aaron Glenn.
Yeah.
I mean, it's early in the season, but I think Aaron Glenn is just too one-dimensional. It was time to move on. Whether he was going to get a head coaching job or not, I said this last year. I think we're going to miss Ben Johnson. I don't think we're going to miss Aaron Glenn. And while sure we're missing Ben Johnson in the sense that he was a great coordinator, we replace him with someone who is through 3 games. I mean, the Packers is what it is. It's your first game calling plays. I don't care. The Bears and the Ravens, I mean, this dude has looked phenomenal as a coordinator.
Yes, absolutely.
I mean, that play where it was 4th and 1, we're in the red zone, and we pitch it to Gibbs, and then, or was it a handoff or a pitch?
It was a handoff to Amon-Ra,
and then he pitches it to Gibbs.
Yeah.
I mean, what a play call right there, because you're stunting one of the linemen to go after Amon-Ra, and then you pitch it to Gibbs, who's the fastest running back in the league. I mean, that had to be like a 95% success rate. Like, there was no way they were stopping that unless they knew exactly what was coming.
Yeah.
That's one of those you got to have at moments, 4th and 1, and he dials up a play that, with the personnel we have, Penei Sewell on that side, Amon-Ra to Gibbs, maybe it was a read option, maybe he was pitching it all the way. It didn't matter. That was going to be a touchdown no matter what. So, I mean, great job from the coordinators, great job from the players. I mean, I'm excited for this Lions team. I think that I thought it last year. I thought that could be the year. I think that this really could be the year. Barring injuries, if our defense can stay stout, we still got Aleem McNeil coming back. Hopefully Davenport, gets his stuff figured out. He loves to be injured, but I think Aleem McNeil back, we might have one of the scariest defensive lines in the NFL. I think Terrion Arnold is going to be our weak point this year.
I think I've got a different. I think he's still learning. It's his 2nd year. He's just got to get into his groove. Hopefully it's by week 4 next week. But
how about Terrion Arnold starting a podcast? He's trying to take after us. He's starting a podcast with Patrick Surtain. So we get the best cornerback in the league and the worst cornerback in the league hopping onto a podcast together. That's pretty dope.
Yeah. And then we got another NFC North, Packers Browns.
Packers Browns was crazy.
That was an insane
I mean, this is what I've
ending
been
to a game.
saying. This is what I've been saying all season long. Like, yes, the Packers look great right now, but people thinking that they look unstoppable. You guys haven't been paying enough attention to Jordan Love. The guy will go on streaks where he plays 5 games as the best quarterback in the NFL, and then he'll play 3 games where he looks like a bottom 5 quarterback in the NFL. You can't win a championship with a player like that. I mean, maybe you can because maybe he has his 5 best games at the end of the season during the playoffs. But when you're that high and low as a quarterback, as someone who runs the team, give credit to the Cleveland Browns. That defense is phenomenal. But when you have them held to 0 points through 3 quarters and you somehow lose that game, come on now.
Yeah. I mean, blocked field goal.
I'm not saying the Browns didn't get
Interception.
lucky, but to even have the Browns in a game like that with the offense that they were putting out on the field is disgusting.
Joe Flacco made.
Now maybe we'll come back to this. The Lions do play the Browns next week, so
Yeah.
hopefully we can hold up our end of the deal. But
Yeah.
I think we can get it done against them.
We got Carson Wentz and the Vikings taking on.
Dude, the Vikings looked legit. I mean that's
I
one of those
mean-
games where can you really take it for what it is, because you're going against Jake Browning, and I mean after he got rattled. Let's be honest, he's a backup quarterback. The things that were going through his brain was probably like, I'm not gonna have a job next week.
Yeah, and defense got just about the same amount of touchdowns as the offense did.
Yeah, I'm not gonna sit here and get too excited about the Minnesota Vikings, but it does give a little bit of a flashback to Sam Darnold on the Vikings. Seeing Carson Wentz out there. Carson Wentz was a talented quarterback, bro. He was, before that injury in Philly, he was an MVP candidate, possibly gonna win the MVP that year. They had a great roster. Nick Foles ended up winning that Super Bowl with them, but I think Carson Wentz is a talented player. He's been in the league long enough that he can run an offense with weapons of that caliber. They got a great O-line. They got Jay Jettis, Jordan Addison coming back, TJ Hawkinson, Jordan Mason looks great. So it's not a ridiculous ask for Carson Wentz, a guy who's been in the league that long, to say step in here and run a good offense. I think he's more than capable of that, but we'll see. I mean, it's a long season.
Yeah, you think that Carson Wentz is gonna be gunning for JJ spot or no?
Oh, jeez, man. I think because dude, if they were gonna keep someone to take over JJ's job and not give JJ a real chance, it was gonna be Sam Darnold. The dude won 14 games for you last year, albeit the last 2 games looked very rough against the Lions and who they play, the Rams, in the playoffs. That was not good for Mr. Darnold, but he's over there in Seattle. They're looking pretty good. I don't know, man. I think when JJ's back healthy, unless Carson Wentz is out there putting up 35 points a game and they're just cruising, and you can't put JJ back in. I don't know. I think they've invested too many. They've put too much into JJ McCarthy at this point. They have to give him a real shot, a real chance.
Yeah, we'll need to see the Vikings against a team that has their starting quarterback as well.
Yeah, for sure.
And then not the Browns, the Bears, and Cowboys. Cowboys are a real team.
Yeah, dude. I think Cowboys are gonna be in doom and despair mode.
Missing
pretty soon here.
CeeDee Lamb though.
CeeDee Lamb's going to be out for many weeks now. His ankle was not looking great in the close-up that they showed, so he's probably out 3 to 4 weeks. There's talk about him going on IR, which means he's missing a minimum of 4 weeks. I don't know, man. I've always been in the camp that the Cowboys are going to be a pitiful team until Jerry Jones is up out of there, and I don't think that's changing anytime soon. So, once Jerry Jones is out of that organization, maybe we can talk about the Cowboys as a real threat. But until then, I'm not worried about them.
No, does that kind of make the win for the Bears go down, or what?
Nah, that was a great win for the Bears. I mean, Ben Johnson finally called a great game. Honestly, one thing I didn't expect was Ben Johnson's leadership, dude. You see that locker room after the game?
A little bit of it. I didn't see the full video though.
I mean, he looked like he could lead a group of men. You can never really tell with a coordinator. You just see him on the sideline calling plays. He looked like he was a real leader of men, which is not something that I thought of Ben Johnson. But you learn from Dan Campbell. I'm sure you're gonna be all right.
Absolutely. And you see Caleb Williams kind of catching his groove. I mean, I feel like he's caught his groove and then he's lost it and then he's catching it again. I just feel like I'm not sure with him still yet. People are saying that he's got it, but
I think he's such a momentum-based player that he's gonna have runs where he just looks great, and then I think he just gets so frustrated with not only himself, but I think he's a guy who can blow up on his teammates a little bit. I think that he'll he'll have someone drop a pass and he'll let it get to him. So I'm not sure. I'm not sure where I'm at on Caleb Williams yet. Obviously, he's a first overall pick talent. You know, he has those moments where he could be the guy, and that's scary as a Lions fan. You know, if him and Ben Johnson can get it figured out, Romo Dunze looks great. They got weapons. I think the next thing the Bears really need is a running back, dude. That is
Yeah.
DeAndre Swift. Love you, buddy, but you're not getting it done. You know, give him a real weapon to work with in the backfield, and I think that they'll be a threat offensively at least.
Yeah.
Their defense has been good for a while now, so honestly, I think the Bears. I don't know what it is, man, because the first 2 weeks they looked so bad in the games they lost, and then last week they looked so good. So I mean, the NFL is such a week to week league. You know, you got the Packers who looked like the best team in the NFL the first 2 weeks, and they lose to the Cleveland Browns.
Yeah.
You know, it is what it is.
I mean, you were talking about Caleb Williams being momentum based, and I think that Viking game, the Vikings against the Bears really showed that.
Is that
like
ASMR?
A little bit, yeah, I think so. The Vikings against the Bears kind of showed that, like, he had all the momentum. It was like what 24 to like 3
he had
or
the
something
game
like that.
in hand. I mean, they just had to get the job done, and they let JJ take the momentum there. So, I mean that is one thing that it's like. After week 1, we're sitting here calling like, oh my gosh, JJ McCarthy has Brady-like qualities. You know, fourth quarter comeback. He's so stoic, and he's leading the locker room and leading the huddle, and then all this stuff. And then the next week he goes out and puts a terrible performance up against the Falcons. It's like, oh, let's give Carson Wentz his job. It's like we're so reactive. Which, I mean, as fans, that's the most fun thing in the world to do is sit here and talk about. I mean, that's what we're doing right now. But it's like, we got to give a little more grace to people, especially someone who's making their second NFL start, and look at the upside more than you're looking at the downside. Because if we're judging people off of their first 2 starts and only going off of the bad things that they did, then there's a lot of quarterbacks that should have gotten their jobs yanked in the first 2 games.
Yeah, absolutely.
I got a good one for you. Let's talk about I don't even know if you saw this. The New York Giants just announced Jackson Dart as their starter.
I didn't see that, no.
Yes, Russell Wilson is gone. At the time we're recording this, they've announced Jackson Dart as QB1. So in terms of the hobby now, we have 2 quarterbacks that are starting in Cam Ward and Jackson Dart. How do you
Dude, I was looking at some stats yesterday. I did not know Cam Ward's offensive line was that bad.
Oh, dude.
He's been sacked 15 times in 3 games.
That's the worst thing about being the first overall pick is that you're going to the worst team in the NFL.
Yeah.
Like the NFL this is going back to the Hurts dialogue. I can't stand when people act like a quarterback is the reason a team wins or loses a game, or a reason why a quarterback performs well or bad. Like, yes, the quarterback has to do good in good situations. Yes, the quarterback has to, it's all these things. But when you're not given an opportunity, like Cam Ward has Calvin Ridley, Tyler Lockett, and Elick Manor as his receivers. Like, no disrespect to those guys, but that's the worst receiving room in the NFL. He has the worst line in the NFL. Maybe the worst running back room in the NFL. No disrespect, Tony Pollard, but like, you give a guy the worst team in the NFL and expect him to go out there and do well. It's like you can't just expect them to lose games. How is Cam Ward supposed to succeed in that environment? You give a guy no time to pass in the pocket. You're just asking someone to be Superman out there, and that's not a fair ask of a guy, no matter if he's the first pick or whatever he's going to be. Like, giving people unfair circumstances is the worst. It's the worst because it can literally ruin someone's career. Like, if they get put on a team that can't figure out how to turn it around, it stinks. Like, it's almost better to be one of those 10th overall picks than a first round pick, especially if you're JJ McCarthy. JJ McCarthy got blessed. He better figure it out, because you just got drafted to one of the best offensive situations you could be drafted in as a top 10 quarterback. Like, you have to be able to take advantage of those situations versus a guy like Cam Ward who just gets thrust into an absolutely awful spot.
Yeah.
It stinks.
For Jackson Dart, how do you think he's going to play? He's a pretty, in my eyes, no disrespect to him, but he's a pretty cocky guy. He thinks he's going to do good.
I mean, you have to, at some point, if you're making it to the NFL, you've got to have that kind of swagger with you. If you don't believe in yourself, I don't know who's going to believe in you in that sense. But it's like, he's got Malik Neighbors. Scattaboo looks like a beast. They got Andrew Thomas back on the line. I'm not expecting them to go out there and win games, but if Jackson Dart can show promise, he's in a better situation than Cam Ward, I would say. I don't know, man. I don't think he's gonna go out there and we're gonna be like, wow, like Jackson Dart's the next Josh Allen or whatever it may be. But I think he's gonna go out there, and I think he's gonna be like, you know what? I think we get a couple more weapons around him, and he could be our quarterback of the future.
Yeah, make him get comfortable, and once he gets comfortable, I think he could do a lot of good things in the league.
I'd say so.
Yeah. So, just to throw it out there, Daniel Jones.
Yeah, I mean, I saw this clip from I think it was last year before the Giants let Daniel Jones go of Malik Neighbors saying it's not the quarterback. It's not the quarterback. I said, well, what is it? It's not the quarterback. Like he was defending Daniel Jones, like basically saying either the coaching sucks, the play calling sucks, something it is, but it's not the quarterback. Shout out to Daniel Jones. It wasn't the quarterback, dude. Daniel Jones is out there in Indianapolis balling. I really do feel like that was a team that was a quarterback away. That's another one of those situations where they were right there in the AFC South last year with who was it? Who was their quarterback last year? That old ass dude.
Oh, I don't
Was
know.
it Joe Flacco?
Was it Joe Flacco?
No, was it? It was Anthony Richardson, and then who was it? Was it Joe Flacco? I forget. Mind blank. It might have been Joe Flacco, but they had someone old who was stepping in, and they almost made the playoffs with that team with basically either some of the worst quarterback play in the league in Anthony Richardson and some pretty subpar with I think it was Joe Flacco. So I'm unsure of my feelings on how the Giants are going, but I think that the Colts are a real team. I think
I
that
think they're a real team, but I don't think they've had a real test to show. I think next week they play the Rams, which will really show.
oh, dude, Rams. Let's talk about the Rams for a minute. I don't have a lot to say about the Colts. I mean, they remind me a little bit of. I'm not going to say they remind me of the Saints run last year from when they started 4-0 because I think the Colts are much better than the Saints were last year. I think the Colts will end up being like an 11-win team that maybe wins one playoff game. Maybe they lose in the first round, but I don't think their ceiling's a championship or anything. We saw Daniel Jones win a playoff game with New York a couple years ago against the Vikings, but I mean, I don't expect him to lead a Super Bowl run or anything. But talking about the Rams, that Rams-Eagles game was unbelievable.
My goodness.
I mean, you got a team in the Eagles that is just battle tested. They just won a Super Bowl. They just got fight. I mean, credit to Jalen Hurts in that game. They asked him to be the man that I said he couldn't be in the second half, and he went out there and he performed. He actually had a decent day through the air in the second half. He led a comeback. The Eagles still should have lost that game. They got a nice blocked kick at the end. Jordan Davis did what he had to do, and the Eagles win. Hey, good teams find a way to win games. That's why people are talking about the Chiefs last year winning all those games, and they were so close and all this. It's like good teams find a way to make plays to win games. It is what happens. That's the NFL. So when you see the Eagles win a game like that, I mean, the Rams did what they could to win that game. They could have done more though. You have a 3-score lead in the third quarter. You got to hold on to that. I think that team is a real. I think the contenders of the NFC, in my opinion. I'm going to rank the contenders of the NFC, guys. I think the number one team in the NFC, I'll give it to the Eagles for right now, just because they're coming off a Super Bowl. They're undefeated. They're battle-tested. They've done it before. I think the Lions are number 2. I mean, they're finally healthy on defense. We've seen the coordinators put up big performances in big games. I don't think losing Aaron Glenn and Ben Johnson was a problem. I'm putting number 3, the LA Rams, adding Devontae Adams, subtracting Cooper Kupp. I mean, that team was a play away against the Eagles, who won the Super Bowl last year, from going to the Super Bowl, essentially. I think they would have beaten the Commanders there. So I think the Rams are right there. I think they're number 3. And then number 4, I think the 49ers, dude. They're having a ton of injuries right now. They have such an easy schedule this year because they were the 4th place team in the NFC West last year, so they get a pretty easy schedule. But, I mean, the only thing I predicted the 49ers before the season to make the NFC Championship game. They're 3-0 right now with Mac Jones starting 2 games. It just shows you how beefed up their roster is.
Yeah.
But they have so many injuries on the defensive side of the ball. Nick Bosa just tore his ACL. He's out for the year, season-ending surgery. That's one of your best players. He's gone. But offensively, they're gonna get maybe Ayuk back. I think that they're a team that could make a run, but with all the injuries, I put them at 4, and did I miss anyone?
Kind of looking like the Lions right now.
Oh, I missed the Packers.
Yeah.
I'll put the Packers above the 49ers just because the 49ers injuries, but like I said, I think Jordan Love's just too inconsistent to really go on one of those Super Bowl type runs. I mean, they have the roster, especially with Micah. I mean, we've seen them beat big teams like the Lions. They shut them down week 1. They beat the Commanders week 2. Those are 2 really good teams. So I mean, we'll see where the Packers end up, but
They don't have the
those are right.
hardest. They don't have the hardest schedule, but
No,
still.
I mean, I think the 4 teams that could win the NFC: Lions, Eagles, Rams, Packers. I think those are the only 4 that could go to the Super Bowl. But I do think the NFC is more stacked than the AFC.
Yeah. Who's your top for AFC?
Top 3 AFC. Fudge.
It's a difficult one this year because it's hard to
dude.
tell.
I mean, the first team that comes to mind is the Chargers. They've just looked so good, dude. Their defense has always been nice. They're finally getting a run game going with Omarion Hampton. They did just lose Najee Harris for the year, but the way I'm impressed with Justin Herbert, and I'm really impressed with those receivers, dude. You have, I mean, it kind of reminds me of, it might be better than the Lions receiving room, dude.
Really?
I mean, I think Amon-Ra's better than Ladd, but they play a similar role. And then you got Keenan Allen and you got Quentin Johnston.
Yeah.
I mean, Keenan Allen, Quentin Johnston, and Ladd McConkey. That might be the best receiving room in the NFL with the way they're playing right now. I mean, things can change. Quentin Johnston had a huge problem with drops last year, but the way they're playing right now, those are all 3. Like, when you have 3 receivers that you could start in fantasy football, that's pretty crazy. I mean, that doesn't happen a lot. Shout out to Justin Herbert. He's getting it done. I want to say, didn't the Chargers lose Rashawn Slater this year? Could you imagine, if you don't know Rashawn Slater, he's one of their tackles. They have Joe Alt and Rashawn Slater as that's the best tackle duo in the league. I think if he was healthy, they'd be my favorites to come out of the AFC, but they've been looking good. I just think the Bills have been looking better, so I'll take the Bills right now. I'm gonna go Bills 1, Chargers 2. Ravens are stacked, dude, but they're 1-2 right now. Derrick Henry with some fumbles. I think he'll clean that up.
Yeah, these are kind of, I wouldn't say fluke wins, but the Bills super close.
They should have beat the Bills. I mean, but then again, a win's a win in the NFL.
Yeah.
But when we're talking about power rankings and who we think's going to come out of it, I do worry about Lamar a little bit in the playoffs. I'll put the Ravens at 3 right now, even though they're 1-2. I want to say the Chiefs, dude. I mean, when it comes to playoff time, if they can get there, there's no one I'd rather have at quarterback than Patrick Mahomes.
Yeah. My hot take for this year, and I'll stand by it, below 500 season for the Chiefs.
This is craziness, dude.
I've called it. I said it before the season.
Why don't we do a little segment, dude? Pull up the Chiefs schedule and let's go through game by game of what they have remaining, and let's see how you get to a below 500 record, because I can't see in my mind Patrick Mahomes.
All right.
Losing those type of games, man.
Right now they're what?
especially
1-2.
Think about this. They're getting Rashee Rice and Xavier Worthy back.
Okay, that's fine.
So they're 1-2. I'll count their wins. So they have 1 right now. Just start out game 4.
Ravens, Chiefs.
You're picking them.
Chiefs or Ravens, easy.
Easy is crazy,
That's
dude.
easy. Chiefs, Jags. I'll take Chiefs there.
Okay.
Lions, Chiefs. I'm taking Lions.
Fair enough.
Chiefs, Raiders. Got to take Chiefs again in there.
Okay.
Commanders, Chiefs. That's just all depends who's back. I don't know how long Jaden Daniels is.
No, Jaden will be back.
Jaden will be back. Then I'm taking Commanders.
Wait, no. 3 wins.
Bills, Chiefs. Bills. Chiefs, Broncos. I think they'll split with Broncos in the
Yeah, I
their
mean, I
division.
can see that. I can see that.
So we'll give them this one
Okay.
for the Chiefs.
Okay. Maybe you're
Colts,
right.
Chiefs. At this point, I'm taking the freaking Colts. I'm taking the Colts on this
Don't
one.
do that, dude.
Daniel Jones is looking like prime Tom Brady out there. I'm taking the Colts.
Oh no.
Got Chiefs, Cowboys. I'll give them Chiefs.
5.
Texans, Chiefs. We'll take Chiefs. Chargers, Chiefs. Give it to the Chargers.
Okay.
They're gonna wipe them out. Chiefs, Titans. Just put the finger up.
Come on.
Broncos, Chiefs. I already gave one to the
Yeah,
Chiefs. So
yeah.
Broncos this time. Chiefs, Raiders. We'll do Chiefs.
That's 8. You think the Chiefs are going 8-9?
8-9.
Wow, boys. 8-9 is crazy.
I mean,
I don't know if I disagree with the games that you said. I think they could lose those games, but at the same time, dude, you got to give a couple.
it's a
of those.
Chiefs. I mean, it's the Chiefs. They always find a way to win. That's the tough part.
I think the Chiefs win 11 games this year. I think they go into the playoffs as a wild card because the Chargers will win the AFC West, and I think that they go in and whoever they play week 1, they just knock off. I think the Chiefs will at least go to the AFC Championship game, dude. I don't think that have the Chiefs missed the AFC Championship since Patrick Mahomes had been a starter.
No.
I
No.
mean, this is what I'm saying, bro.
No. He's gotten there, but he hasn't won every single time, I don't think.
Especially with Rashee Rice coming back and Xavier Worthy coming back. I mean, we're judging them off of. I mean, he's throwing to Tyquan Thornton right now, dog.
Yeah. Yeah, not the greatest in Hollywood, and
Yeah, like come on, man.
not the
Come on.
greatest people to be throwing to, but
I get Travis Kelce's getting a little older. I think the Chiefs will be all right. I really do.
all right. Week 4 NFL slate. I had them
Are
up.
we gonna give some picks?
We're gonna give some picks.
It's a long podcast. I hope you guys enjoy these long episodes.
It's not right now popping up. We'll see if I can grab it. Okay, here we go. Thursday night football.
Oh, please don't be as bad as the Dolphins Bills.
It's pretty bad. It's pretty bad. Seahawks Cardinals.
Why do they hate prime time? At least it's a divisional matchup. Are both teams? The Cardinals are they're both 2-1.
Seahawks 2-1. Seahawks just crushed the Saints.
Yeah,
so.
dude, they're both 2-1
Yeah,
divisional
but-
matchup. I don't hate that game. That's not a bad.
We're gonna see
primetime
more
game.
from Trey Benson too.
Trey Benson, dude.
My
I'm trying
boy-
to get him on the waiver wires in an 8-man league.
My boy
James
James Conner from my fantasies out for the
Toasted.
season, so I need to get a new running back.
Yeah, full. I mean, who we going with?
No, it's not Gino. Gino's on the Raiders now.
No, it's Sam Darnold.
Sam Darnold. That's what it was.
Seahawks or Cardinals? I will take the Seahawks. I really do think the Seahawks are going to be a good team this year. I think that the NFC West is stacked, dude.
Yeah.
49ers, Rams, Cardinals, and Seahawks might all have winning records right now.
Yeah. They're looking like the NFC North last year.
They are, honestly, yeah.
I'll take the Seahawks on that one too. I mean,
Okay.
like that one's whatever. Steelers Vikings.
Ooh, Wentz versus Rodgers. I'm gonna
Wentz
take
versus
the Steelers.
Rodgers.
I'm gonna take the Steelers, but if the Vikings win this game, I think that the Vikings are gonna be legit again this year, which scares me.
Yeah. Do you think that? I mean, they can be legit, but with JJ McCarthy, you think they're still gonna be legit?
I mean, if dude, if they go undefeated while McCarthy's out, who knows what happens?
Yeah.
But I don't know. It's hard to say. We're too early.
Commanders Falcons.
With how the Falcons looked last game, I'm taking the Commanders, dude.
Commanders.
Commanders put up 45 with Mariota.
Yeah.
Jaden Daniels is a system quarterback.
I'd take Commanders too. Yeah. Chargers Giants. Jackson Dart, is this his debut?
You imagine Jackson Dart comes in on the debut and upsets the 3-0 Chargers? I can't. We'll go with the
No?
Chargers.
I'll go with the Giants. I like Jackson Dart.
Really?
I like Jackson Dart a lot.
Wow.
Titans Texans. This one's actually hard. It's so bad that it's hard.
Wait, say that again?
Texans Chargers.
Chargers?
Or Texans Titans. Texans Titans.
Oh, God damn. I legitimately think the Titans might lose 16 games this year. They might win one. I don't think this is the one. I'm going with the Texans.
I'm going with the Texans, obviously. But
Christian Kirk anytime touchdown.
I'm hoping that they can figure out something for Cam Ward so he's not getting 50 sacks on his head. Because
It's going to be a tough year.
you can't take that many hits as a
It's
QB.
going to be a tough year for Cam.
Eagles Buccaneers.
Wow, that's going to be a great matchup. Both 3-0 teams.
Yeah.
I'm going to take the Buccaneers, dude. Give me Baker Mayfield.
Yeah. I'm going to take the Eagles. They always pull something out, so I feel like,
I think Baker might spit on Jalen Carter.
yeah.
Little hot take. No, I'm just playing.
I do know that Bucky Irving, great running back, but he had 25 carries for 66 yards last week. So, and
Dude,
that
I
was
think-
not against a great team.
I drafted Chase Brown in like the second or third round of my fantasy. Dude has like 45 carries for 90 yards on the season or just
Yeah.
something ridiculous.
Not great. I have Bucky in my
And he's
fantasy.
the worst running back in the league. I'm like, bro, I'm toast on that one.
So I'll take Eagles. You're taking Bucks.
I'll take Bucks. I'll take Bucks.
Panthers Patriots. Drake May versus Bryce Young.
Patriots. I think Patriots are a better coach team. I think the Panthers can have some high highs and some low lows. I think tomorrow is probably a low lows week. I think the under hits on that one pretty easily.
Yeah, I think it easily hits, but I'm taking Panthers on this one. I'm liking the way Bryce Young looks.
All right.
Got 30 on Falcons. That's a pretty good team.
Yeah, 30
All
nothing
things
on
considered.
the Falcons is great.
Okay, this one's Bill Saints.
Bills.
Bills, obviously. Browns Lions.
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 I think Lions, I'm going to say 34-10.
34-10.
Nah, 28-10. We're not going to
28
run
to
it
10.
up too much.
We'll be nice to them because they beat the Packers. So
Yeah, we got to give them a little bit.
getting a little. Jags 49ers. T-Law versus Mac Jones.
I think Purdy might be back this week.
Yeah.
Maybe.
Okay.
Maybe. If he is, I hate the way the Jags are playing. They should not be 2-1. I'm taking the 49ers.
49ers. I'll take the 49ers.
I liked the Jags going into this season, dude. I don't think Liam Cohen has him ready to go. I think that, I mean, dude, BTJ looks like he's scared to get hit. You're a football player, bro. Like, let's figure it out, you know. I think that Trevor Lawrence has had some bad miscues. You're in year 5, pal. Let's start to. I mean, year 4, you had some injuries, but
Yeah.
like let's get it figured out. You're supposed to, not have those rookie mistakes in your 4th year. I mean, Travis Hunter hasn't impressed me.
No, not at all.
I mean, Travis Etienne's been one of the best running backs in the league. I guess that's a plus side. I mean, defense has been okay. I'm not impressed by the Jaguars, and I was really high on them at the start of the season, saying they should win the AFC South. I think the Colts look a lot better right now. I think that 2-1 is a fraudulent record for the Jags. They should realistically be 1-2 at best, maybe 0-3. But
Yeah.
I'll take
taking 49ers on that one as
give
well.
me the 49ers.
Colts versus Rams.
Wow. Game of the week right here, boys. Colts versus Rams.
Who would have thought?
Indiana Jones versus Matthew Stafford. The Rams are one of my favorite teams, dude. I got love for Matthew Stafford as a Lions fan. I think he's one of the most underrated quarterbacks in the history of football. I think the Rams are going to get it done. I think this is where the Indiana Jones Linsanity run kind of meets its maker. But
I don't think they're going to suck for the rest of the year, but I do think it's going to dampen them down a little bit.
yeah, no, I still think the Colts will win 11 games. This just isn't one of them.
No. Got Bears, Raiders.
Bears win that. I think the Raiders are just bad. I mean, I think Pete Carroll should have stayed in the retirement home. I think Geno Smith is. I don't think he ever was a good quarterback. I think he just had really nice weapons in Seattle, and I think they have a great scheme over there. But no.
Then you already know my answer on this one. Ravens, Chiefs.
I'm taking the Chiefs in this one. I think that I forget that they don't have Rashi or Worthy. Does Worthy come back? When does he come back? Ravens will win this one. I think the Chiefs at 1-3 just doesn't sound believable, but neither does the Ravens. I can't believe both these teams got themselves into these spots, but King Henry with those fumbles will cost you, and then the Chiefs, I mean, just all the injuries. It's been pretty brutal. I mean, they don't. It's tough to win games throwing to Marquise Brown, Tyquan Thornton, and 70-year-olds.
I mean, these are both top 5 teams, and one of them next week is going to be 1-3.
I don't know if they're both top 5 teams right now.
I wouldn't say the Chiefs are top 5. I'd say Ravens are playing like
Ravens
they're top
should
5.
be top 5. They should be.
But I mean, their schedule is pretty difficult, so
they gotta clean it up.
Packers, Cowboys. Oh, Micah Parsons is not.
Micah Parsons.
He's going
revenge game.
Yeah,
I'll
it's revenge game. I'll take the Packers, on
especially
that
with CD out. I don't know.
Yeah, Jets, Dolphins.
Is that Monday Night Football?
No, not. Oh, yes, it is. Yes, it is Monday Night Football. Just wait, it gets better.
That is terrible. Jets, Dolphins,
and Bengals, Broncos.
I'll take stabbing my eyes out over both.
I'm taking the Dolphins over the Jets.
My God. I can't do it, bro. Aaron Glenn is getting his first win of the season. I like Aaron Glenn as a person. Didn't like him as a D coordinator. I think he'll be a better head coach. Yeah, I mean, Hawk Tua. This is Mike McDaniel's last game as the Dolphins coach. Let's go. Tyreek Hill getting traded to the Chiefs. Like, it's over for the Dolphins. I think the Jets get one here. And then, would you say Bengals, Broncos?
Broncos. I'm taking Broncos over Toe
The
Burrow.
Broncos are a well-coached team. I do think they'll beat they'll beat the Bengals. The Broncos are a good coach team. They get it done. I'm not a huge Bo Nix guy, but they have maybe the second best defense in the league.
I mean, with Jake Browning in, I'm taking the taking the Broncos.
The Broncos defense in fantasy is about a feast.
Yeah,
Jake Browning's going for 2 interceptions.
Yeah, I think if Joe Burrow is in there, I might take the Bengals then, but I can't take the Bengals.
That's actually a good hypothetical. If Joe Burrow was playing, would I take the Bengals? I think I would, yeah.
Yeah, I take the Bengals.
I mean, that's got to be the biggest fall off in the world. Like the team the Bengals are with Joe Burrow compared to Jake Browning just shows how good Joe Burrow is.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, Joe Burrow wouldn't have lost by 48 to the Vikings.
A little bit of a mean mug shot right here, dude.
Yeah.
It's all good.
Yeah, that's the entire slate for week 4.
We got a little bonus game to wrap us up here.
We will. Yeah, we do have a bonus game.
Do we have anything else to talk about before the bonus game?
I don't got anything before the bonus game.
Let's hit the bonus game, dude.
Hit the bonus game.
I don't know how long it's been. Over an hour we've been recording.
Yeah, it's hour 16. So
it's not bad. That's a good episode.
No. I've got 5 QBs here, and you're gonna blind rank them 1 through 5.
5 QBs, blind rank 1 through 5. Got it.
Okay. First off, we're gonna start with Baker Mayfield.
I am in the camp that Baker Mayfield is a little bit overrated. I think that he has that dog in him, and I think that people love Baker Mayfield, so they think that he's a little bit better than he is. I think Baker Mayfield's a very good quarterback, don't get me wrong, but we're talking about probably top 5. I mean, you could throw in some stinkers here. I don't know. I'll put him at 3. I think he's going to fit right in the middle.
This is, by the way, all from ChatGPT. I said give me 5 random NFL QBs that have played in the last 5 years.
Okay.
5
Okay.
completely random.
Wait, in the last 5 years, so it could be someone who's not even in the league anymore?
They're all in the league.
Okay.
They gave me all one.
I'll stick with 3 then.
I said
I
more
probably
random.
should go 2, but I'll stick at 3.
I said more random, and it gave me like Gardner Minshew and Jacoby Brissett, and I was like, okay, maybe let's go back to the first one. But
I'll stick at 3, although I feel like I should go 2.
okay, next we got Jalen Hurts.
He's worse than Baker Mayfield. I'll put him at 4.
4. Herbo.
Justin Herbert. On this list, I'm going to put him at 1, dude. Justin Herbert. Nah. He's going at 2. He's never won a playoff game. While he looks great this year, I think he's one of the most talented quarterbacks in the NFL. He has so many milestones of being the first to reach this number, the first to reach that number. His rookie season was amazing. He's got great weapons, this and that. But you have to win a playoff game, bro. I remember sitting there on my birthday watching the Jags versus the Chargers where he blew a 28-0 lead or wherever it was. Let's pump the brakes a little bit. We'll put him at 2, hoping there's a monster here.
Tua Tagovailoa.
5. That's the easiest 5 of my life, dude. Maybe before the CTE, he could have been above Hurts, but
this might have been a perfect list. Jared Goff.
Oh! Jared Goff has won playoff games. Matter of fact, he's been to a Super Bowl. We're going to put him at number 1. That is a perfect list. Jared Goff 1.
Perfect blind ranking.
2. Baker 3, Hurts 4, and Tua 5. I was going to put Baker at 2. I mean, yeah, I don't know. Could you switch Baker and Herbert? Maybe, because Baker's won a playoff game. I do think Herbert's the more talented quarterback, so that's how I would have ranked him if I knew them all.
If we're going off this year, I'd say, yeah. W's. That's a good one.
W's. Off this year, you might even be able to argue Herbert over Goff, but I mean,
Yeah.
that's 3 game sample size, but Goff's the better quarterback for sure. Is that it?
That's it.
Did we want to, I know you were talking about potentially having them submit questions for the next episode. Is that something you want to do?
In the bio of our TikTok and in the bio of this YouTube video, I will be putting a forum for a Google where you can go and submit questions, and we'll answer them on our next episode of the podcast.
That's exciting.
That's exciting. Anything you want, make it friendly. I will go through them, and if it's stupid and dumb and unfriendly, I will not use it in
Unfriendly, guys. No unfriendly.
No unfriendly. But yeah, go and submit those questions.
I'm excited to see what kind of questions you guys got.
I'm hyped to see what you guys put in there and
I'll try
what you
and
guys
answer
are wondering.
to the best of our ability, even if it's something I don't normally answer. So
yeah,
throw it on the forum. Yeah, man. First episode. What was it? An hour, 20 minutes long.
About an hour, 20 minutes. We'll
Let me know if there's
some editing in there.
Anything you guys think that we can improve on, or really anything at all. I thought this was a lot of fun. I think this was a good first episode. Excited to bring you these episodes at 10 a.m. every single Thursday, a little weekly action. Make sure you follow the Burton Breaks podcast on TikTok, on YouTube, and follow all the Burton Breaks socials, guys. We'll be seeing you on the next episode. Peace out, everybody.
Peace out.